Welcome to Disaster Party Podcast. As always, this is Rob Stanio, joined by my co-host.
Oh, whoa, daddy, it's your boy Andy Bivians. That's Bivans, for I am the one true whoa daddy of Studio Whoa Bivians, INC, and your American icon. Listen, tonight we're gonna get our wrestling fix because we're on episode 76. Whoa, daddy.
Whoa, daddy. So this episode is a little delayed. We wanted to do this last week, but unfortunately with time and scheduling and stuff, and we were trying to get B-Rent and Shawnee Dion, but it didn't work. So we're just going to do a quick recap of AEW Double or Nothing, which happened last week, and we're going to touch on what happened beforehand. We're going to touch on what happened on Dynamite. We are going to touch on the news coming out of Rampage. We're going to just, touch a little bit on everything AEW. So for AEW, for Double or Nothing, I had people over. Andy was there, a couple of their friends, some people we haven't seen in a while. Dan and
Nicky boy.
and Romy Rome, like all of a bunch of people who have been on the podcast before. So toward the end of the night, we all, were a little intoxicated. And so some of the matches might be a blur. So that's why we're going to do a quick recap, just kind of touch on the results and anything that stood out to us. And like I said, we'll touch on Dynamite, the highlights, and Rampage. There was news-worthy things on both episodes.
Facts.
So Andy, where would you like to start?
Let's start at the pay-per-view.
Okay. Well, do you want to talk about what happened to before the pay-per-view?
Oh, at the
Fan Fest.
Yes, let's start there.
Okay.
Let's start.
Well, MJF no-showed a Fan Fest signing thing that fans paid for beforehand, and he just no-showed. And a lot of the rumors were that it's due to his contract stuff that he talked to Ariel Helwani on his podcast, basically saying that he wasn't getting paid enough, blah, blah, blah. So that was the whole rumor of why he didn't show up. And it was the talk of the talk prior to the pay-per-view starting. So a lot of people were even curious because there was a rumor that he booked a flight out of Las Vegas. So there was a lot of, is he or isn't he going to show up?
I love it. Get him talking one way or another.
Yeah. I'm still confused if this is a work or not, or like part work, part not, part shoot. Like, I don't know. So let's just jump into the pay-per-view. So there was only one pre-show match. Hook and Danhausen against Tony Nese and Mark Sterling. This was more of a... It was basically like Danhausen taking the beating. Hook comes in, saves him. They get Tony Nese out of the match. Hook's doing his moves onto Mark Sterling. Danhausen asks to get tagged in, and he steps on Mark Sterling's chest to get the 1-2-3, which basically was Danhausen trying to get his win back on Tony Nese and Mark Sterling.
Well, he cursed Mark Sterling as he pinned him.
He did. And this match went 5 minutes and 20 seconds. And now there was something I didn't like about this is, I'll talk about it later, but at this point, right, Mark Sterling did not have the neck brace, did not have anything. He seemed completely fine because since Wardlow tossed him through the tables a couple weeks back, he's been wearing a neck brace. He did not have a neck brace during this match.
He was trying to get the one up on his opponents. Think he's weak. And he had a good showing, too. Think he's weak. Agreed. Until he got suplexed on his head, which was very nasty. So I'm glad he's okay. But
yeah,
which leads into what you were thinking about later on about the brace.
Does he come out here? I don't think he would. I don't think he did. Sorry. I think he comes out later.
Yeah.
So the first match of the pay-per-view is Wardlow versus MJF. And this was probably one of the better built storylines for the last 2 years between these two. If you follow AEW, basically Wardlow was MJF's bodyguard, ended up turning on him in the CM Punk feud. So the whole stipulation of this is a singles match, and Wardlow had to jump through hoops, just like every other person who wants to get at MJF. And if MJF won, Wardlow would be permanently banned from signing with AEW. And if Wardlow won, if MJF won, then Wardlow couldn't sign with AEW. And if Wardlow won, he could sign with AEW. Yeah. This match was essentially a one-way squash match.
A power bomb, a symphony of power bombs after power.
He hit 10 power bombs, and the cool thing about it is, in my opinion, after the first two, he started slowing down, and you could tell he was like getting amped and feeding to the crowd. And at one point, he looked like he was gonna win. He went down for the pin, 1-2, and just got up and continued to do power bombs. I don't know if you noticed, but after the match, they made it seem like MJF was beat to shit. They took him out on a stretcher, and they even put the oxygen mask on his eyes instead of his mouth.
God, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, pretty funny stuff.
That's funny. It was cool because you saw the feeling in Wardlow, like the passion in his eyes in Wardlow. And I just saw a clip from I forgot his name. The guy who does all of the interviews.
That I don't know.
That's gonna bug me. That's really gonna bug me. I apologize. Van Vliet.
Got it.
I just saw his interview with Wardlow, and he was talking about how they told him to go make a name for himself, and he killed everything else. And he was like, okay. So knowing that, and then seeing the match, and seeing how emotional he was, you can put all of it together, and it was a long journey for him. So
yeah. And as he left the ring, or after MJF got removed, Wardlow came out, or Wardlow was walking up, and it showed on the Titan screen that Wardlow is All Elite.
Facts.
All right, so the next match we have on the main card is the Hardys versus the Young Bucks in a tag team match. This match went 19 minutes and 15 seconds. I don't think it needed to go 19 minutes and 15 seconds. But this match was pretty wild, I would say. A lot of stuff happening. I wouldn't say, and this is my opinion, you could disagree if you want. This wasn't as high flying and death defying match as I would have expected. But it was more of a ground base. But obviously the super kicks were there, the swantons were there, the reversals were there. All of that was there. But the death-defying stuff that you would expect from Jeff Hardy, they weren't there as much as I would have thought. I think he did do the stairs and did the swanton on the stairs, which looked like it hurt.
That was wild.
And I mean, we talked about it when we were all watching it. Jeff was definitely missing a step. At one point, his boot came off. He looked kind of like a mess. I mean, later did we find out that he was injured in some way, which is why he was removed from the Dynamite card later on. But yeah.
See, that was the scary thing about it. I think because he removed the boot, he had an injury to his ankle or leg. So seeing him move around like that, and then seeing him go up for that swanton on the steps was frightening. Every time he went up to do like a top rope move or an aerial assault, it was kind of hoping I hope he keeps his footing or his grounding. But yeah, he got through it though. But
yep.
They had a couple aerial stuff though. The Asai moonsault to the outside, the swanton to the stairs.
Yeah.
It wasn't as crazy as that Sting Hardy match that they had.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, they did come out and say he was injured. It wasn't like drugs or anything, so that's a good thing. And the Hardys ended up beating the Young Bucks.
Facts. Elite versus elite.
Um, yep, elite versus elite. So match number 4 was Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay. This was added relatively late, I believe. This match went 7:25. This was probably the messiest match of the whole show. Probably the worst match on the card. You could see that they were not on the same page because there was a point that Jade Cargill went on the top rope, ready to do a move, but then Anna Jay was on the other side of the ring, and then she like brought her closer and then went back up again. So you could tell that they were off. There was this cool reversal that Anna Jay did. It was like Jay Cargill had her in her finisher. She like rolled underneath her legs and kicked out her leg, kicked out Jay Cargill's legs from behind her. Jay Cargill fell into Anna Jay, and she did like a chokehold on her. I thought that was pretty cool.
Facts.
But yeah, Jay Cargill is like 32-0, I think 33-0, and she beats Anna Jay, which I think we all assumed.
And then, as her and her group celebrate in the ring, we see the appearing. Actually, I'm sorry. Before the end, we see the debuting Stokely Hathaway, which comes down. Which this is where I think you were mad because I think Mark Sterling made an appearance.
Yeah, but he had a neck brace on.
Exactly, because he got dropped on his head from a suplex. So he got you got to psych your opponents out, and then he got re-injured, so he had to put it back on. But then Stokely Hathaway made his way down to the ring, and it looks like he is now the new manager of that little small group. And then Athena made her debut.
Formerly known as
Ember Moon.
Ember Moon.
That was cool. That was cool to see.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what like those three can do. It was Athena.
And then Chris Statlander came out as like a 3, right? 3
Yeah.
on 3.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
That'd be cool to see.
Yes.
A little 3 on
So it was like the 3 on 3. So then, the next match was the Death Triangle Death Triangle is Pac, Penta, and Phoenix, and they were facing the House of Black, Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King. This was a crazy match. Penta landed this like Canadian Destroyer onto Matthews on the apron, but he jumped over Phoenix to hit it, and then like Pac performed he did like a 450 splash on Black off the top. Then Pac took advantage, hit Black with a low blow. Pac went up to do the Black Arrow. The lights went out, and then when the lights came on, Julia Hart arrived, but now she is clearly part of House of Black. She spit the mist into Pac's face. Then Black hit the Black Mass and on Pac to win. But before that, Malachi was just hitting the Black Mass on everybody.
He leveled everybody with it.
Everybody. So.
No, yeah. I mean, I said it before, and I'll say it again. I love watching Pac and Ray and Penta work. Just overall, like the things that they're capable of doing, and is astonishing.
Agreed.
And just the 6 guys in this match, I think already made it a pay-per-view worthy name for the match, but all 6 men are absolutely phenomenally talented. So it was cool to watch that.
Mm-hmm. So now we have the next match is the finals of the Men's Own Heart Foundation tournament, and it was Adam Cole facing Samoa Joe. And actually, this apparently was the first time they faced each other, maybe on like the big stage. So the match was pretty good. I wouldn't say it was great, but it was good. Then Bobby Fish came out, distracted Joe long enough for Cole to take an advantage. He performed the boom, and it was a victory, like clean victory. This match went 12:30. The six man tag went 15:35. Sorry, and then this match went 12:30. Again, it was good. I wouldn't say anything spectacular. Joe lost clean. I thought there was going to be some interference with Jay Lethal and all that, but yeah, I mean, it was good.
Yeah, they had one interference, and then that was it. Which I was
And it was
surprised.
Bobby Fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Adam Cole is the winner of the men's Owen Hart tournament. The next match was Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho. This went 13:20. Pretty cool. The guitarist from Fozzy played Britt Baker out, and then my goodness, Rancid, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Rancid played Ruby Soho out
Ruby out.
to their
Yeah.
song Ruby, 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 Ruby Soho.
Ruby Soho. So this match again was good. Not great or not spectacular, but good, awesome. Ruby Soho at one point did a sharp shooter to Baker, which was just not good at all. Then Soho went to the ropes, put herself on the shoulders of Baker before performing and then as that happened, Baker rolled her up and got the victory on a roll up 1, 2, 3, and yeah, uh, yeah.
So I like the match. Actually, I like both matches for the tournament. And I think I
They
said
were
this
both good. I agree. I just didn't think they were
facts.
like.
No, they were definitely good. And I think I said this when we were hanging out the other day. See the next segment, seeing Dr. Martha Hart come out to award them the championships and the trophy has to be such a cool feeling and like an honored like experience, especially for both of them together. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, yeah, that must have been really, especially like her not being able to do anything with wrestling for a while because of things going on. So after all these years, it must have been a very cool feeling to be like, I get to represent Owen Hart.
Agreed. Um, yeah, the whole I guess it was like belts when Martha Hart came out. She was introduced by Tony Schiavone. She thanked everybody. She gave both Cole and Baker like a belt, I guess, like a tournament belt to both. I guess that is the trophy. It will not be defended. It's nothing like that. They did say that. So yeah, it was a cool thing. Yeah.
It's just a cool memory just to have, like as both Adam Cole and Britt Baker.
Yeah, agreed. Especially since they're boyfriend, girlfriend.
Ooh.
All right, so the next one, I don't. So it's American Top Team versus Frankie Kazarian, Sammy Guevara, and Ty Conti. It's a 6-person mixed tag match. And so I guess like the thing is that if Top Team wins, neither Kazarian or Guevara are allowed to challenge for the TNT Championship again as long as Scorpio Sky is the champion. This match went 12:30, and American Top Team won. Um, so now Kazarian and Guevara can't challenge. But here's the thing: American Top Team is kind of made out to be the heels. But then you have Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti also made out to be heels. But it was cool though. They came out in like Maleficent outfits, so it kind of like
That was kind of
that
dope.
was cool. This was Paige Van Zant's first in-ring match, or yeah, first match. So that was interesting to see. But again, it's like it was heel versus heel, and then Frankie Kazarian, who essentially was the only babyface in this whole match, was teaming with the more hated heels, and then that played a whole role that Frankie Kazarian left the match, and then that's how Top Team won because now it was just yeah. Uh, yeah, I just
Yeah,
didn't do much.
it was confusing, but Um, that super kick to Ty Conti.
Yeah, that looked like it made
She
some
ate
hard
that shit.
contact. Yes, she
She
did.
ate that shit.
Yes, she did. Um, yeah, she definitely definitely ate that shit. But yeah, I mean, again, it was fun. I wouldn't say it was great, but it was enjoyable. I mean, 12 minutes and 30 seconds. It could have been shorter, or could have been longer. But yeah, I mean, the whole storyline is that Sammy hit Ty, so now that's playing into their storyline on Dynamite. They can't challenge anymore, so finally we get some new challengers to the TNT belt, which is nice. And then Paige Van Zant got her first win and first match under her belt. So let's go.
I dig it.
Yeah. The next match is Kyle O'Reilly versus Darby Allin. Singles match went 950. Um, you know, there was a Darby went for the suicide dive like he normally does, and he fucking lands on his head so hard I thought he was dead. Um, this was a good match. You could see it was like a battle of styles. Obviously, Kyle O'Reilly is more grounded, Darby's not, and yeah, it was overall. I enjoyed this match, but O'Reilly won by landing a knee drop from the top rope. So I didn't think that I didn't again. Kyle O'Reilly is mostly in tag matches, so I didn't know that that was his finish because I don't think he's won a singles match in AEW, and it just seemed very abrupt.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Let's not skip the fact that Darby Allin threw his own body at like 50 miles an hour through the ropes to try to take out Kyle O'Reilly. That first one was wild, and I'm glad he's okay because it definitely looked like he landed on his head. The second one was cool though, where he tried to go for it again, but on the opposite side of the ring, and Kyle O'Reilly caught him in the guillotine choke, like in midair. That was kind of cool. Um, and I think he's been doing the knee drop a lot, though. No, but then
Yeah,
again,
I know he is, but I didn't know it was a finish.
I'm used to the Red Dragon, the total elimination that they hit. I'm used to that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, I can't. Yeah, but I mean, it makes sense though. You know, especially
yeah.
after he hit the kicks because he's working the ribs and then landing a knee drop from the top.
And Darby was winning a lot. To be honest, I know he lost to Jeff, but like with Sting, he was like untouchable. Like they were winning everything. So I'm glad that like without Sting, he's been losing. So it kind of adds to maybe like a redemption story for Darby. And like it can be like, oh, see, you don't win without Sting, and kind of adds to that.
He's probably still fucked up from him and Jeff's match.
I mean, clearly Jeff was too.
That wild swanton on the chairs. That's insane. Yeah, no, I like this match. I also like the clash of the styles too. You got to see two different styles come together, which was awesome.
Yeah,
It's almost like
agreed.
fighting to see like which style would work out best in a
Agreed.
sense.
All right, so we got the next match was Thunder Rosa, the champion, versus Serena Deeb, 1655. This was for the AEW Women's Championship. Thunder Rosa won. This was a good match. Two of probably the better wrestling in-ring female wrestlers. Deeb went for a figure four leg lock where they ended up rolling out of the ring to the floor, which broke the hold. Back in the ring, Deeb applied the Serenity Lock, which was released and put Rosa down with the power bomb. Moments later, Deeb avoided the charging Rosa, who crashed into the corner. Deeb went for the ropes, was cut off by Rosa, who executed the top rope superplex. Rosa followed with a Fire Thunder driver on Deeb to retain the title.
It's one of them high impacts. I still got you, and now I'm finishing you type deals. No, it was cool. I like this match a lot.
Yeah, this was a
Um,
solid match. I want to go back and watch this one actually.
it's hard hitting too. They beat the shit out of each
Well, it was
other.
a heated. It was like a heated thing. It was like, well, not really on Thunder Rosa's side, but Deeb's promos have been really good leading up to this, so I thought it was really good.
So good.
So the next match, if you're ready to explain this one, this was Anarchy in the Arena, and this went 22-45. This was insane. Um, we're definitely gonna miss details. That's okay. I will summarize it quickly. Wild Thing played for the first like 10 minutes of the match until Jericho hit some sound box and stopped it. I believe Moxley was like stabbing one of the, I think Angelo Parker, and he was a bloody mess.
Is that what happened?
Uh,
I
yeah, it was
saw
like
him
a fork or
covered.
something. He was stabbing him.
I saw him covered, and I'm like, wait. I must have like looked away for a second, but I turned back, and he's just gushing, and I'm like, wait, how did he start bleeding? Also, the
Hmm.
Wild Thing music playing, I feel like that was a shout out to New Jack because that was
Oh yeah,
some New Jack vibes there.
I agree. Um, I'm just gonna run through real quick, and you can add whatever you want. Okay.
Boy,
So again, the stabbing, he was bloody. There was tables, ladders, all of it. At one point, Eddie Kingston comes from like the ramp, all bloodied up in a white Yankee T-shirt, all blood on him, with a gasoline tank. He looked like a zombie. Like awesome, like visuals. Um, Back and forth. Obviously both teams had the thing. Then when Kingston got in, he started pouring gasoline on Jericho and Danielson because Danielson had Jericho, I believe, in like a submission. And then Danielson got up, got into the face of Kingston, being like, "What the fuck you doing?" And then they beat up Kingston, and they take the fucking ring ropes and they choke Danielson out, like his neck, like he looked like he was choked out, and he just passes out. And so
yeah.
the Jericho Society ends up beating Eddie Kingston and his team.
So I said Serena Deeb and Thunder Rosa beat the shit out of each other. I take that back. Well, I don't take that back. They did beat the shit out of each other. But these two groups fucked each other up.
Yep.
It was wild. It was hard hitting. They used weapons. They used chairs, the ring
Yeah,
rope, the
Danielson hit a
turnbuckle.
steel chair into Jericho's face. Hager used a bat. Like,
It was wild, and it was crazy to see. And I said this before, and I feel the same about it now. Is that I think the inner circle and the elite would have had a match like this if there were fans in the building. However, now
yeah,
that I'm saying that, I don't think it would have been as violent because Moxley and Danielson with Regal are known for being vicious, violent, beat him up, hit him up. Like it was a different style. So while they still had, I mean, they still fought all over the building. You can definitely see the difference between the two. Like these were like we're coming to kill you type vibes in this match. Um, but I liked it. I
felt
liked
that
it.
way too.
Yeah, it was very well done. But there's so many people in the match, and they were so all over the building that there were so many different camera views and different camera angles and different camera shots that I feel like the guy in the back were just pressing the button, clicking, switching on different camera views.
And then apparently this got 5 stars from Dave Meltzer. I wouldn't say it was 5 stars, maybe 3.5, 4. But this was a fun match, bloody, all of it. So if you like that kind of match, like you definitely had a good time with this. But I wouldn't have said 5 stars.
Felt like an old school hardcore match,
Yeah, yeah,
like back in the Attitude Era style hardcore match.
agreed, agreed. All right, so let's go to the next match. The next match was the three-way tag match: Jungle Express, Keith Lee and Swerve, and then Team Taz, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Ricky Starks. This match went 17-15. Uh, and I was surprised. I was surprised, but Jungle Express came out on top in, like I said, 17-15. Uh, again, fun match. I will say at this point, it was getting pretty late. Like, I don't think the main event started till like midnight. So it was getting pretty late. A lot of it was kind of, I think we kind of all weren't paying as much attention. Um, yeah, but of what it was just a good match. I mean, those three teams are all good. Keith Lee and Swerve are becoming an awesome tag team. I thought maybe Team Taz was gonna win. There was a cool moment where all the big guys. So you had Hobbs, Lee, and Jurassic Express or Luchasaurus all in the ring together. That was cool. Hobbs looked really good through this match. Yeah. The combinations of moves between the three teams was just of what I remember, just awesome.
I thought Swerve and Keith Lee were going to take it for sure.
I did not expect the Jurassic Express to come out on top.
They've been holding the tag titles for a while too now, right?
Yeah, probably a little too long, to be honest. But yeah,
Understandable. And now we got the main event.
the main event.
Punk challenges the AEW World Heavyweight Champion Adam Page.
Hangman Page.
This was I like this match.
I went back and watched clips because, again, like I said, this was so late. It was like, don't think it started till like 12:02 Eastern. I went and watched some of the highlights. Like, I know Punk tried to do the buckshot, failed at that. Again, I know he's tried a couple times. Punk applied the sharpshooter, so there's a lot of Owen Hart things through the whole night, or the Hart family. This was just a hard hitting match with two guys that had to prove themselves. This went 25 minutes and 40 seconds. CM Punk defeated Hangman Adam Page, and this is CM Punk's first championship win since 2011.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yes.
Yeah, when Adam Page did the dive to the outside, it looked like he definitely jacked up his knee.
A lot of people got hurt in this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
As we later find out.
It told a great story for the rest of the match, though. You know.
Agreed. That I could agree with. I don't know. Again, a lot of this was not necessarily seen by me because I know I was getting tired and not focusing as much. Is there anything that you remember or anything like that?
Well, I know towards the end of the match, his knee's all jacked up. And then he's got Punk down and he's getting ready to kind of put Punk away. And I think Punk went for the GTS and took the ref out. And so Hangman's looking at the belt. He's looking at Punk. He picks up the belt. He's going to hit Punk with it, and he decides against it. And he goes for the buckshot lariat again, but his knee buckles. Punk picks him up, hits him with the GTS. Beats him clean. It was just awesome the way that it all played out. And it was a very back and forth match, which was cool.
Agreed. It was cool to see CM Punk win a championship. I get it. We'll talk about this when we talk about Dynamite. But aren't you trying to push I mean, I get that CM Punk's a draw. He's like he brings more fans and like all this stuff, but like also Hangman, honestly, if you look at what it is, he had six defenses. Six defenses. Two were Daniel Bryan, two were Adam Cole, one was Lance Archer, and one was like Dante Martin
Huh.
in 194 days.
Wow.
Yeah. So like I wouldn't even say that Adam Page was like a great champion because six defenses in almost 200 days and four of the defenses were against the same two people.
You could say the same when like Mox had it.
Okay,
Mox faced
Mox, but
the
you can't
same
say that with
people who
Jericho or Omega.
sort of though, because they kind of faced the same people. Like they were stuck in a they were in a program and they kind of faced the same people as they were champion. Like Omega faced Mox. Omega faced Danielson.
Daniel Bryan. Yeah.
And
But he also faced Hangman. He faced I think he faced Lance Archer. I think he faced and then like you had Mox facing Kingston. Um yeah, there was just it was a yeah.
I
I'd have to
feel
go
like
back.
I feel like maybe the other ones had a higher caliber of matches, if that makes any sense. Because I know a lot of it was defended on Dynamite and whatnot.
Yeah. I
But
think all of his title defenses were Dynamite except for maybe
that's what
Cole.
that's what I'm saying. Like his pay-per-view defenses, I feel like he had the same amount, but he's faced more. He's had more opportunities with other people, if that makes any sense. Instead of just the number one contender, you had
Okay.
Dante Martin come up and be like, "I want a shot," and he's like, "All
Well,
right,
he was the
bet."
number one contender at that point.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
hmm,
Yeah.
yeah. But now he's got a chance to get it back though, and then have that even better run.
He's
Now he
definitely
could
a better
say,
chasing for sure.
now he could say like, listen, I know what it feels like to have the championship, and I know what it feels like to lose the championship. I'm not gonna let that happen again. Then
Agree.
he gets a better chase, and then once he grabs it, he gets a better run because now he knows.
Agree. Okay, I can see that. All right, so let's run through the aftermath of Dynamite and Rampage real quick. So with
Awesome.
the whole MJF thing, he comes out, does a promo. This promo was like 8 minutes long. We're just gonna summarize it. He basically comes out and says he doesn't want to be here anymore. That Tony Khan might treat him better if he was an ex WWE guy, and that he's not getting paid enough because all the money's going to the ex WWE guy. He's cursing throughout the whole thing. There was some bleeping. At one point, he calls him like, "You fucking Mark, fire me, you fucking Mark," and then his microphone got cut off. But before his microphone cut off, one of the producer guys was like, "Hey, you need to stop." You could, and then he was like, "Shut the fuck up, you piece of shit!" Like, it seemed like it was a shoot the way that it was presented, which is cool, is cool. Then after the promo, during the promo, you could see people were booing him in the beginning, and then toward the end, they started cheering him because they were like, okay, it is true that they're signing a lot of WWE guys, and if that's true that they're paying them more, even though some of these AEW guys have been here since day one, I mean, I could see it. So MJF left through the crowd, and then CM Punk comes down with one boot on, and then I guess Nick Jackson came out afterwards during the commercial. So again, it kind of made it look more shoot than it did not.
I mean, if you were getting paid less than everybody else, you'd be pissed off too.
I feel
That's
you.
what it looked like. They're like, here's a live mic. Go voice your grievances.
Yeah, yeah,
Wait, too much grievances. Hold up, hold up.
yeah. So, and then I think after this, I mean, we could touch on more if you want, but after this, that's when they did the trios match. It was the Gun Club versus CM Punk and FTR because at the end of the pay per view, FTR came out and lifted CM Punk after he won the championship. And at some point in this match, apparently Punk gets injured, but we don't know about that until Rampage. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
Also in Dynamite, they announced that Ortiz is going to have a hair versus hair match with Jericho, and then after that, they're going to do a Blood and Guts the week after Forbidden Door on Dynamite. The only people that we know is going to be in that, I believe, is Santana Ortiz, Kingston, and Moxley. It's because after that pay per view, Adam Cole got hurt. Jeff Hardy was hurt. Bryan Danielson is apparently hurt. Scorpio Sky is apparently hurt.
That's
And
wild.
when we go to Rampage, we can work our way back. I just want to get all this out. When we go to
Yeah, no,
Rampage, CM Punk announces that he was injured and requires surgery. He wanted to relinquish the title. However, Tony Khan decided to do an interim champion, which will be crowned until CM Punk's returned, and then CM Punk will face the interim. Uh, so, how did they set this up? They determined the interim by setting up matches that will culminate in a match at Forbidden Door, which is cool because we'll be there. And it's going to be, New Japan and AEW. The first two matches will be taking place on June 8th, which is this week. And it will be a battle royal. Will open the show with the winner facing the number one ranked single star, Jon Moxley. So it's going to be a battle royal, and then whoever wins the battle royal will face Jon Moxley. And then it seems like whoever wins that will move on to the championship match at Forbidden Door. And the other competitor in the championship match at Forbidden Door will be a wrestler from New Japan Pro Wrestling, which will be determined in a match between Tanahashi and Gato. Gato at Dominion on January 12th. So it's either going to be Tanahashi or Gato versus Moxley or whoever wins the Battle Royal.
Ooh, Tanahashi and Moxley. Gato and Moxley. Yes. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. So that's going to be sick. So again, all of these injuries came out of this pay-per-view. It was an awesome pay-per-view. It was long as fuck. But the storyline afterwards between MJF, between Jericho and Kingston's group, between CM Punk being injured and just all this stuff. It looks like AEW is going to be pretty exciting between now and Forbidden Door. I'm very excited for Forbidden Door. I'm getting more excited for Forbidden Door. I'm excited that we're going to get these matches. And on Dynamite, before CM Punk said he was injured, after their trios match, he basically said, "Hey, let's sell some tickets to this pay-per-view. Send me my opponent. Send out my opponent." And it was Tanahashi. So it already looked like it was going to be Punk versus Tanahashi, which is awesome in the first place. So yeah, it's just like really cool. I don't know.
Punk versus Tanahashi would be mind-blowing match.
And
just because when's the last time you've seen Punk face anybody from New Japan? ROH
exactly.
maybe?
Exactly.
So
also, I just got an injury report on my phone, and apparently Cody Rhodes has a torn pec, and yeah, he's still going to face Seth Rollins in the Hell in a Cell tonight, so that's going to be fun.
We shall see what happens.
Because Hell in a Cell is going to be starting in about 40 minutes as of we are recording right now. So we are going to jump off unless you have anything else to add on the whole AEW Double or Nothing Dynamite Rampage.
No, I'm excited to see where they're gonna go with all these, and I'm just excited to see new matches, like new possibilities. So let's go.
Because we're only 3 weeks away from Forbidden Door, so they have to start announcing matches soon.
Probably. Once they do, it'll probably start either come out of nowhere or it'll just be quick.
I just hope that the injuries don't really impact the pay-per-view because that would suck. Because, like, Daniel Bryan being injured, that sucks. Scorpio Sky, he's the champion. He could have had a match. CM Punk, clearly they already changing that match. Jeff Hardy and Adam Cole, okay, they would be cool matches, but I believe Jeff Hardy's wrestled or a lot of the New Japan guys, and I know Adam Cole has. So like those might not be as fresh, but there is a lot of opportunities for this pay per view, and I just hope the injuries haven't fucked it up.
Well, that and you got to think like AEW's roster is bigger than a lot of people realize. So like you get to see a lot more people who maybe don't have a lot of screen time finally get their chance to have screen time and have matches that you never thought you really wanted.
I'm excited for it.
Facts.
I'm so excited for it. All right, if that's all we have to talk about wrestling, let's plug out a couple episodes that are coming up. If you listen to the last week's Know Thy Neighbor episode with CJ, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Go listen to that. We have done the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness episode. That was a lot of fun. So for next week and a couple other coming up, we have Halo coming up. We have Obi-Wan Kenobi. Apparently there's only 6 episodes and there's already 3 out. So a couple weeks we'll be recording that. Miss Marvel's coming out soon. The show. That's going to be fun. We're going to do an episode of the podcast of us going to Forbidden Door because it looks like there might be some interesting things we might be doing. None of it is official. I've talked to Andy and them about it already, which would be cool. Meeting people, maybe stuff like that. That'd be cool. We could talk about that. We do have a couple other Know Thy Neighbor episodes getting stacked up. And we have some other episodes just getting in the works. We still have to do our crazy movie review that we were discussing. So a lot of things are coming up.
Shawnee D, Shawnee D and Brent, because I forget which one of you were very excited for this. I'm pretty sure it was Brent. I'm still not happy for this. I still hate that movie. I'm going to tear it apart. It's going to be worse than Rob tearing apart Madison and the Crew. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Madison and the Crew.
So, yeah. As always,
for Disaster Party Podcast, I am Rob Stania.
Oh, Daddy, I'm Andy Bivens.
And we are out. Bye. Enjoy Hell in the Cell.
Peace.